welcome back to another edition of the Optimized Weekly Market Recap. I'm David Ferreira, and as always for today's recap, we'll take a look at last week's activity in the markets as well as what we're watching for in the week ahead. It was another strong week with a phenomenal end to the first month of 2024. The S&P 500 hit multiple all-time highs towards the end of the month, and both Europe and Canada performed well during January. Economic data generally outperformed expectations, fueling equity gains from late 2023. The Dow, S&P 500, and the Nasdaq all finished the week up over 100 basis points, while the TSX lagged behind, finishing the week roughly flat, down 19 basis points on the week. Looking at sector performance, both consumer discretionary and communications were the strongest performing sectors on the week, while real estate and energy were by far the weakest. Looking at the events from this past week, the big news last week was certainly the U.S. Federal Reserve maintained its interest rate range at 5.25 to 5.5, aligning with market expectations. In his commentary, Chair Powell suggested that the current policy rate might represent the peak of this tightening cycle and hinted at the potential for rate reductions sometime this year. Looking at U.S. jobs data, employment gains in January nearly doubled expectations as strong upward revisions to December carried forward into 2024. Not only did we see very strong 350,000 jobs added in the first month of the year, but last year's total jobs gains were also revised up 3.1 million, well above the prior reading of 2.7 million, with much of the revised strength coming from the second half of the year. In Canada, November real GDP data was reported. Real GDP rose 0.2% in November, surpassing expectations, and the monthly increase was driven largely by a 0.6% production surge among the goods-producing industries. For the week ahead, in Canada, big data points this week will be centered around jobs data, which will provide insight on the health of the Canadian labor market. In the U.S., we'll be taking a look at a number of releases on trade balances, along with several Fed members providing highly anticipated market commentary. And lastly, earnings season is in full swing with McDonald's, Ford, and Toyota all reporting. Certainly a great end to the month of January with a lot to look forward to in the weeks ahead. As always, thank you for watching and see you soon.